to show you this time a few things that we've done because of our impending journey. We're selling the house at the moment, and because we're selling the house, we're going to live in the caravan when the house is finally sold, and we'll be relocating from where we are now in Tauranga down to Nelson, which is in the South Island, I think it's approximately 500 kilometres south. So we'll be travelling down there in a leisurely fashion. We're not in any great hurry to get anywhere because we don't have a house to go to. We haven't bought before we moved, so consequently we're going to have a very nice little holiday on the way down. We need power, and power is what I'd like to talk to you about in this episode, as well as entertainment. We have a solar panel on the roof. It's a 150 watt solar panel, which is stuck to the roof. It's not screwed down. You don't have to screw these down. You can buy the brackets that go around them, the 6 brackets per solar panel, and you can actually stick them down using a good adhesive to the roof, and then you put one hole in the roof which will let the wire go through, seal it up, which we've done, and that has brought power into the van. Entertainment, well, we've got a television set. A lot of people with caravans don't have television sets, but they are a useful thing when you're getting on. I like to watch the news every night, keep abreast of what is happening, and so we have bought a 24-inch satellite television, which means that we don't have to rely on signals from the top of a hill anywhere. It comes down on the Optus satellite and gives us free view, which is enough channels while we're travelling to keep us entertained. So without any further ado, we will have a look at the power situation. Now, 150 watts of power going into the 12 volt battery, which basically I'm just about sitting on top of, it's underneath the seat, will do the job. It charges your battery up and gives you 12 volts, plus we have an inverter. Now that inverter is quite a reasonable one. You can get by on just a small one, but it will allow us to charge extra batteries. We do have a lot of USB phones, tablets and cameras and that sort of thing, so really we need a little bit of extra power for those. And plus we can also use the hairdryer that Lindley has. We can only use that on low power, but it does the job if you need to wash your hair in a hurry and get it dried, which is important to Lindley, of course. This is the solar panel controller, and as you can see at the moment the battery is registering 13.8 degrees, which is good for the type of day. It's bright sunshine outside, so that will keep the battery charged up, which it is fully charged now. And then we have the inverter, which the inverter is a pure sine wave 800 watt, and this will go up to, I believe, about 1400 watt according to the information that came with it. So that will power something quite reasonable. The front of the inverter is quite plain. It's just got a 3-pin, standard 3-pin plug for New Zealand, of course. We switch it on and it will tell you that we have 13.4 volts in there, which is different to what the solar panel says, but it's also now 237 volts output. So that will drag the power down and you don't get anything for nothing. So you would certainly lose a little bit of battery power converting it to 240, but with having the solar panel it makes a very, very good job of, how can you say, recharging the battery. The television is, as I mentioned, a 24-inch, and it's just sitting loose here at the moment, but we did think where to put it, where to put the television in the caravan, where we use it the most. Well, obviously we use it when we're sitting down having dinner, and originally we tried having it here because just inside the cupboard here is a 12-volt plug and an aerial contact. That is very useful, so we tried putting it down here on top of the unit, which is directly next door to the stove, but somebody's cooking here, you can't see over the top of them, most inconvenient. But it is possible. We thought about putting it on the end of the wardrobe unit up here as well, but then we can't see it if we're in bed, so we bought this. Now this is a bracket which moves the television around, and in order to fit everything on, it's a very simple job. There's a bracket on the back of the television here, and that, once it's turned around the right way, will fit directly up there, and it will slide down, and so now we have the television up at a reasonable height. It can sort of come right out, so if we're cooking here you can still see over the top of the head, and very importantly now it will turn round and go down that way, and we can tilt it down and we can watch television in bed, which is rather nice on a cold winter's night. Rather than have all the heaters on, just lie in bed where it's nice and warm. So that really is a good thing. The wiring from here will go through this cupboard, and so there's not wires dangling down all over the place. The excess wire tucks up inside, and then you can close the door again and you can't see anything at all, which is rather nice. The brackets for the television up here does have a side effect, and it does mean that the door that we have in the wall, in a cavity in the wall, doesn't go tight across anymore, because we've used that to sort of mount the bracket on. It's not really important to us because we have there's only the two of us, so we don't have somebody sleeping up the front and down the back, so we don't exactly need the privacy for that, and we can either leave it just as it is, and of course this flap here comes up, and that makes sure that there's no draft coming through. That would go across there, and so it would keep the light out if we bothered. But we don't bother about it, so that just goes back into the wall and gets pinned up, and that's where it stays.